This is the Geneva Shore Report coming to you from downtown Lake Geneva. This is our issue today of left jab.
Right hook.
This is our political show where we talk about the polarization and also the issues that are occurring all over the place today around the country, nationally and locally, with respect to political beliefs and political applications. I think all of us have experienced some of this in our community, in our homes. The COVID, of course, has caused this distancing and a lot of other things, but also distancing through political beliefs. Many times we're believing things that aren't really true, and trying to get to the bottom of what is really true has become extremely complicated with our system of applied media across the board. We're part of the media, so we understand that, and we hope we do a good job at trying to sort our way through some of it. But I have to admit, many times stories are told without a sufficiency of fact and evidence because it's so hard to get in any kind of a time frame. Anyway, I wanted to start out by saying I know this left-leaning organization called Black Brick Landscaping and Tree, and they also do snow plowing. Why do I talk about them this morning with respect to our show? Because I wanted to mention a company doing great work on the left, and I'm sure you've got someone on the right. But,
I do.
Black Brick is 815 403-1844. If you want to call them, and why? Because when I talked to them about a woman down the street who couldn't dig out, and I couldn't dig her out because our snow was 14 inches thick, I mentioned that they went straight away over there, dug her out, totally swept, salted, and left. Never talked to the woman. She came to talk to me as she hobbled over saying, "Thanks for sending them." And I said, instead of saying they did it on their own, I said, "You're welcome."
Oh gosh. But that was wonderful.
I
that
took
was
advantage
great
of them, so I wanted to say, Black Brick and Armando and you guys, you're terrific. Thank you for the kind of work you do. Thank you for the hearts you have. And that's us on the Bleeding Liberal side. What have you got?
Oh gosh. Well, you caught me off guard. I don't have a super great story like that, but I do know a lot of people that lean more to the right that are wonderful people, big hearts, great people. But there is a local organization, actually a coffee shop and a hair salon, skin, hair, nail, everything salon. Mitch and Mia Fascia, they are wonderful. They lean a little more to the right, but they are wonderful people, and they are really, really good. And they have a lot of great people on their staff. And there's a couple of the baristas that will go out of their way, above and beyond, and do whatever needs to be done to accommodate whatever you need to make you comfortable.
And they're over by the
Geneva National.
And they're keeping their coffee shop open at a loss, just so people have a place to go. Okay.
And they have their free
I
know.
Okay, they're wonderful.
The only ones that offer it for free.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
But not everyone out that leans to the right is all about money and themselves. There's a lot that are out there for other people and want to do good for other people. So
I wanted to talk, after we talk about this,
okay.
I wanted to talk about briefly the stimulus plan, because it's been a big deal to us on the Geneva Shore Report, because our report goes out many times to a lot of people who don't have a lot.
Yeah.
And it's free, and so they don't have to pay for it. We're concerned about the stimulus because so far it hasn't happened, and that was going to be a big deal on the left. And now today, as we're talking about this, they're supposedly meeting at the White House to discuss this, and the Republicans, the right, they want to reduce the stimulus from 1.9 trillion down to 600 billion, and you know what that means. They want to get rid of the checks to the people. That's always the issue. Not the corporations, not any of the rest of it, but the checks to the people.
They're not trying to get rid of the checks completely. They're just trying to lower them to 1,000 instead of 1,400, and lowering who is eligible. So couples earning over 150,000 a year would not be eligible anymore.
And by the time they get done with it, you'll be eligible for $9,
Don't
which
say
will be
that.
fully taxable.
Come on, Republicans, just pass the stimulus.
You have to agree with me that the
I
1,400
do.
was a promise.
Yes.
promise made
And-
to put these people in office and then have them do that,
And I
do
believe
not.
that's why they're in office.
Well, they are. And
Because
so,
they were expecting to get these checks.
okay.
Okay, so let's do it. And, I mean, better yet, let's do 2,000 instead of 1,400.
You're
Let's make it
starting
the
to
full
sound like a
2,000.
lefty. That's socialism.
No, it is not.
Oh, I'm willing to go with that, but I don't see that as being an eventuality here.
No,
In
I
fact,
don't.
I think that was put forward by someone you don't particularly care for.
I know, adorable little AOC. She is a cutie.
Well, she is.
I
Yes,
know
it's
she
nice,
is.
too.
She is, and she really is very smart, and she is very well spoken. I will say. I know.
This is my material.
I know. She is.
You
There
got-
are
you
just
got
certain times that she's a
McConnell over
little
there.
over the top.
Go about how great McConnell is.
Oh, well, okay, I can't even do that.
There you
Most on
go.
the right will not agree with that.
Well, we still
There's-
have this whole thing going on. We have the Republican Party is in a very difficult position right now.
It's falling apart.
Well, it's not necessarily falling apart, but it's cratered because there's a battle going on, I think, between Trumpism and the rest of the Republican Party. And I think that's a real problem for them. And of course, it's being illustrated by the impeachment proceedings. Your
Well,
guy
yeah,
just lost his 5
Well,
attorneys.
okay, but why? Why did he lose that? Because the left is being, they are so, everything anyone on the right says or anyone who voted for Trump, anything they say, they are being treated like they are terrorists, like they are white supremacists, like they are evil, and they need to be deprogrammed and removed. Any of their beliefs need to just be shut down completely.
Are we talking about
That's what
Marjorie Green by
Oh
chance?
gosh, you
One
and
of-
your Marjorie, you.
And I researched that the
laser
Jewish
beams
lasers
and the
coming down and
fires and
starting
the-
the fires in California so that they could clear a path for the high-speed rail. This was Jerry Brown supposedly doing this. Well, I did look up her long tweet and read it word for word and reread it. She did not specifically say that, I will grant that.
Yeah.
But what she said was there's this company called Solaria that has got geosynchronous space machines up there that are taking sunlight, converting it into beams of energy and sending that back to Earth. And some of these beams might have gone astray to start the fire. There are no beams. Tesla, back in the 1800s, was trying to do directed energy. It didn't work, okay? There is no company yet, there's no
Yet.
technology that allows us to make and beam energy through our atmosphere to provide electricity and other things, or to start fires. We call those things lasers, where the laser thing in that story came from.
Right.
So the woman is bat,
But I believe
whatever.
that the whole point behind it was, now this has been twisted. I'm not saying it's a correct statement or it should have even been made, but I think she was referring to that something crazy like that could have happened to cause the fires in order to benefit the whole production and development of the railway.
Well, then she went into the Rothschilds, being on the board of director of the energy company out. I mean, just
Well, I mean, they do
What is-
exist, the Rothschilds.
what's
They
the
are
Republican
elitists.
Party?
They are.
When are they going to clean up and rid them? Remember, I'm an old Republican. I just want my party back.
Okay, well,
I became a liberal because there was no place to run and hide. I couldn't be that anymore. I'm not cold-blooded. I don't want to reduce
see,
the
that's
stimulus
the
to
thing.
people.
They are not all cold-blooded. That is not what it stands for.
No, well,
That
Ted
is
Cruz
the-
and her and a few of these.
Well, okay, and there's crazy ones over on your side.
Who are they?
I can't even say because if I say, I will be condemned by the left side and
There's
beaten
only-
down as an evil person.
I'm the left side here, and I don't think you're evil. Right.
I
think you
appreciate
need
that.
reprogramming.
Oh
Maybe.
gosh, see, there we go.
Well,
There
I mean-
we go.
You have to define what reprogramming is. I mean, women do it to
Sit.
husbands all the time. They
As
reprogram
long
them.
as long as you agree with the left and agree with all of their beliefs and what they want to do, then you're fine. If you don't agree with that, then you need to be deprogrammed.
I don't understand what this programming thing is. That's just getting someone to do what you want them to do because you want them to do it. as opposed to the definition of leadership, which is the best of all time. Getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it, which presupposes it's a good idea in the first place.
They're not trying to get you to do what they want you to do because you want to do it. They're just trying to get you to do what they want to do, whether you want to do it or not.
I go back to the example of marriage. I don't want to put out the garbage, but there I am, out in the night, in the cold snow, pushing it down the driveway. Now, is that partially because I'm more capable of doing that? Of course, I've been programmed to believe that. She's tough as nails. Okay? And I'm out there with a limp in my weak right ankle and my slippers and my blue robe in the snow.
Oh, gosh.
How did I get
Oh, what
here?
a sight.
Yeah, I've got the whole visual.
I've been programmed. Okay? This is just part of the deal, and that's where this programming thing came from. We're not talking about the Manchurian Candidate here.
You can make everything sound nice. Doesn't he make everything sound nice?
Probably my wife is not going to
You
say
darn
that
liberal.
when she looks at this video. But I'm just saying, you know, what is changing someone's belief system, you know.
I get it.
What is belief? I mean, it's like that old joke they used to tell in Catholic school where Johnny's in the back of the class and the question gets asked, what is Christianity? And so finally she points at Johnny, who she doesn't want to because nobody else raises his hand, and Johnny raises his hand and said, it's believing in something you know isn't really real.
Oh.
He went to the cloakroom like I used
Oh, gosh.
to. What is real and what is not? What is a fact? What is not? Coming into the newspaper business later in life to discover that facts aren't what you thought they were, that they do have a timeout. What is that timeout? That means over time they stop. Why? Because if I'm going to present something in the newspaper to someone as a reporter, I have to stop at some point in order to put it down. And then it's like steeped in cement. And people then can complain and say, you didn't do enough investigation. Well, I can tell you on a story, there's never enough investigation. And when you discover as a reporter that a fact comes in that you didn't get or you're incorrect about, it's devastating to us because we wanted to get it right. Do we have prejudices? Yes. Do we want some things to be real? Yes. That's why we have this show. We want to talk about the fact that we care personally about things, and that applies to our impressions and our belief system.
Right. And everyone interprets the situation differently.
Right, and
Everyone
when you
reads it
get
differently,
reprogrammed, you'll be
everyone-
different.
I will not be deprogrammed.
I'm programmed completely different than both of you.
Oh, but we love it, Jen.
Thanks.
I don't even know if you know the difference between programming and deprogramming.
Oh, I know.
Programming is where you learn something. Deprogram is where we hit you with a brick bat and you
Oh,
forget.
gosh.
He brings that bat up a lot.
The back, I know.
You're a camera person. You're not an opinion here. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the left and that's the right of what's going on. The stimulus is big in that.
Yeah.
Of course, we can go back to the virus and the vaccination thing. You know, the 96.1 was on the radio again on Sunday talking about, and they're anti-vaxxers on there. The two aging Valley girls who are on there, and that's nasty. People can die from not getting a vaccination. Is that criminal? Is that liable? When you in the media and you go on and encourage stuff like that, you better have a pretty darn good idea of what you're talking about, not some belief system that's been handed to you. And science is not teaching vaccinations are bad. In fact, the results coming in on all these vaccinations, now that we've given out millions of them, no one's dying from the vaccinations. But we know people are dying from the virus. And that's a given fact. These doctors are not making that stuff up. And so you got to be more careful than that. You know, we don't normally go against other news media outlets except maybe the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and a few of those. They don't know about us, so it doesn't matter. We're little germs. And we'll reach 1,000 people maybe, and they reach millions. And so they go, gerbil, get away from us, get away from us. We can't even send the GSR to the New York Times. They send it back, which I have a whole bunch. But I do that just as harassment. That's my sense of
New
humor.
York. Good call. Okay, Governor Cuomo, however you say his name.
Como. That's programming.
Oh, Democratic governor.
Oh, that's just horrible.
Oh, he's horrible.
No, he's not. Look at all your Republican governors who are helping the legislatures in Republican states get more restrictive voting going on because of there are too many people voted last time.
Okay, do you know what just happened in New York? He just wrote a book about what a great leader he is and how great he is, and he's getting some kind of award for it, and they just found out that he's been lying about all the deaths in nursing homes, and he's been putting people in nursing homes knowing that the death rate is through the roof, and he's been exposing other elderly people to the virus.
Yeah, I'm not in New York.
This is all coming out right now, and he's getting an award.
Yeah.
An award.
Part of the problem is, where are we getting our news? You're going to Newsmax. You're going to these right-wing sites. If you go over to MSNBC,
Nope,
you're going to hear the other side.
Nope, check it out. Check it out on your left side. They're even admitting it. They're admitting it.
And why are we chasing? We were talking about the New York Times.
I know, but
not
then
Governor
I heard
Cuomo.
New York, and I remembered New York.
You know, what is our governor doing here?
Governor Evers. Oh, he's pretty quiet.
Well, we've gotten a lot
He's
of.
pretty quiet.
We're finally starting to get a lot of shots out. A lot of vaccinations out. I go in for my second on the 9th of February. And
I know
so-
they started. I know in Wisconsin, the 65 and older are allowed to get their vaccines now. So
I went in the 45 and younger program.
Wait, of course you did. Well, you're a veteran, so veterans were able to get it first, which they should be. Why not? Why not? What's wrong with that?
Well, what was wrong with it? Because we were out there at 4 in the morning
Yeah,
wandering
well,
in
okay.
a cold, icy parking
mean-
lot, not knowing where we were.
You're not supposed to get it easy. Anything
That's
worth
right.
getting is hard, right?
You're used to
You have
war.
to work
so-
for it. What?
Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I have nothing else. Do you?
That's it? No,
That's it.
I think we're going to close up with this issue of left jab.
Right hook.
And thank you. Thank you for watching. And it's a pleasure. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.